Yo, so I was having a good chat to one of my mates the other day, Matt Lynch, and we were sort of just discussing how everything's panned out over the last couple of weeks with obviously like the Silady and the motor blowing up, and he actually sort of questioned me that like, did it actually blow up? Well, for anyone that wants to know, there's a nice big oil slick on my road, right where my hopes and dreams exploded, and then it sort of like haunts me all the way back into the driveway right where I left this fucking thing. So sort of just did a bit of Q&A, and then we can run through just sort of where we're at, what's happened, and I don't know, maybe one person might give a flying fuck about it. So he's giving me a couple of questions here. I'll just bring them up. So why did it blow up? So brand new motor, 10 hours, about 10 hours, just run in, don't know yet. I've been working flat out, so I haven't even had a chance to bring the motor back to the engine builder to pull it apart, have a look sort of what happened. But multiple tuners, drop lifters, cooked oil, throwing a rod. It doesn't look good either way. Unfortunately, the motor wasn't built like 100% on the books, so I kind of shot myself in the foot there, I guess. But just in case no one actually believes me, I will show you guys my punched block. So yep, number 4. You see it's done some damage to the crank, exploded straight through the bottom. You can see it. It's another hole just down there. There wasn't a clear shear on the rod. Yeah. Got to get it back to him, have a look, go from there. There was an absolute boatload of money pumped into that motor, and for it to blow up, that's pretty much where it's at. There is nothing I can do about it except scrap it out. The head might be reusable, haven't pulled it apart yet. Other than that, gearbox conversion is sold. That turbo setup that was for Zenki, that was sold. So the Haltech from this here and the turbo setup will go into the S14. Sorry, probably never gonna finish that, so I'll probably sell that as a rolling shell as well. Okay, so next question he's got here, why didn't I rebuild? So anyone who's familiar with my unlucky situation with cars will know that I've had stock motors, modified motors, DE plus Ts. I've run pretty much every turbo possible for an SR20, and just everything fucking blows up, like literally everything. The motor that was in the Silady that I bought it was probably the most reliable one I've ever had. That had a T28 on it, and I'm guessing a pretty safe tune. Ran some thick oil and it just loved life, but that was getting pretty tired as well by the time I pulled everything out to put the built motor in. Why didn't I rebuild? I've just had enough. I didn't have any money. I sort of emptied the bank account a bit to finish off this build, and then when that happened, I was like, what the fuck do I do? I've got no money. Can't even go out and buy a long block. Not that long blocks are really, it's too expensive. Why did I go full retard and not just keep it simple? So the setup that was in it was great. I had so much fun with it. I learned a lot. It was to the point at round 3 that I feel like I was pushing the car to about as much as it had. It was only making 230. It wasn't a great powerhouse, and I needed that little bit extra to be more competitive. So that's where this came in. Obviously we could have wound it back a bit. It was still a 2871, which is a small turbo, especially for a 2 litre. But it was simple. There was nothing overly complex about the build. Obviously like the fab work and all the stupid shit I did, that sort of, that was a bit over the top, but I always liked my cars. Like, it's all about the style and looking good. So yeah, the setup itself was relatively basic. It's a forged motor, been done to death over the last decade. Z32 gearbox conversion done to death, turbo, brand new turbo, 6 boost, wastegate, Haltech. They're all just proven parts, so it all should have just worked, and it should have been reliable. It literally should have just given me years of reliability. Just service it, maybe fix a few little things that kind of didn't go right, but that it was supposed to be reliable. What would I do differently? Get one shop to do all the work. Bouncing between many different places here has sort of put me in an awkward situation. So next time it'll be one shop, builds the motor, puts the motor in and tunes it, and then if anything goes wrong, it's like, hey, this is you. If you had your time with the 180 again, what would you do differently? I probably would just redo everything the same way. Obviously, just get it built by one place and one place only. Probably just plan it out a hell of a lot better. This is obviously my first build, anything like this, so it was a bit all over the shop, a bit slow. Do I have any regrets? No, not one in the slightest bit. Even where it's at now, RB swap, too much money. JZ swap, too much money. Just too much money. Unfortunately, this has just set me back a hell of a long way. It's realised that I'm not as wealthy as I thought I was, to the fact that I can build a car like this, but when something goes wrong, I've got absolutely no money left. I didn't really kind of account for that, so this, lucky that was the work phone. This is motorsport, this shit happens. So yeah, I think it's just time to dial it back 10 notches and maybe just get something real basic and just do it for a bit of a hobby, because going to the next level kind of just doesn't agree with me. How much did the 180 cost in total? So probably, I don't know, somewhere between 40 and 50 grand. I don't think that's a lot, all things considering. Built motor, big box, everything should have reliably hit the 400-500 mark. All the fab work that's gone into it, like Matt Haig has done so much work on this car that nobody's ever going to see or even really care about. There's a lot of little fabrication work that's gone into it, so credit obviously goes out to him. He's done a lot, and he's done it cheap through the sponsorship as well. But yeah, I guess that's racing. It's still cheaper than Zenki. I'm pretty sure that car owes me a lot more, and I stole parts of it for this build, so it's kind of fitting that I'm giving parts back to probably never finish that car off anyway. So where it's at now, it's pretty much stripped down, waiting for the new owner to come pay for it and collect it, and that's sort of where we're going to wrap it up. Basically, it's sold pending payment. The new owner's just got to come pick it up. There's a few more bits I've got to strip off it. Yeah, that's it. Hopes and dreams shattered. So I'll give you a quick look at the car where it's at now.
Darling, you sent me, I know you sent me. Darling, you sent me, I know you sent me. Darling, you sent me, I know you sent me. Darling,
so if anyone's got any more questions, feel free to just drop them wherever you see this video. More than happy to answer anything about as honestly as possible. Yeah, a bit of a sad time. Everything that all your hard work, time and money put into something for it to not go out right, but I guess that's just life, isn't it? Peace.